Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to my channel. Today is the 1st of September 2025. I've got a very interesting video for you today. All of you that are into the Galactics, the meaning of life, questioning of existence, all of that, this is going to be right up your street. Going to be taking a look at the phenomenon I'm wanting to say that is called 3-eye Atlas. Now, 3-eye Atlas, I've got some notes down here that I'm going to be referring to, is only the third interstellar object which has ever been detected coming from outside our solar system to visit us or travel certainly quite near to Earth from around about October to December of this year. There have been two other intergalactic objects recorded, one in 2017 and one in 2019, both of which I believe they feel were, in retrospect, comets. At the moment, 3-eye Atlas, the jury is out with regards to whether it is a comet, even though it looks irregular in some of its features and patterning, and we will come to that in a moment, or whether it could be something more linked into extraterrestrial craft, whether coming to monitor us, bless us, or anything else. There's a lot of different theories with regards to what this is. I'll run through them, as well as giving you a little bit of just a very short summary of what's out there with regards to the latest information, which is changing week by week, to be perfectly honest, as telescopes are able to pick up a little bit more of it when it comes into view. But I'll give you a little bit of an update on what's out there. Also, then I want to, most importantly, get to the spiritual downloads that I've received with regards to what I think this is all about and what it potentially can bring to our world and to our own lives. So I'm going to be using my own intuitive ability. I'm going to be calling in the energy of Archangel Metatron, obviously also Commander Ashtar of the Galactic Federation of Light. I am going to also be using some cards. I might have to break this subject down into two videos. I'm not quite sure as I start out, but there are a couple of really good decks that I want to dip into. I will say what they are now. One of them is called the First Light Tarot by Dina Roseberry. I've said before that Dina gave me my first big break, basically, with regards to my own decks and saw the potential. But this deck is really interesting because it features a number of photographs of the galaxy taken from the Hubble satellite or telescope. So I want to use that. I think that will reveal a lot. I'm also wanting to use the Alchemy, the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Kranz, because in that there is a lot of references to metallics. One of the things about this comet is it's displaying some unusual metallic qualities or properties, or the speculation that it does. In particular, the existence of nickel without iron. I'm also picking up titanium, but the nickel without iron is actually coming from what other people are talking about who are actually studying it through telescopes. The point about the metals is that nickel without iron and this other titanium energy tends to lead to speculation that it is off-world manufactured, i.e. some sort of extraterrestrial craft. If not extraterrestrial craft, certainly coming from a star system far, far away from us. I think everybody agrees with that anyway, where the materials and the metals may be very different to what is found here. Okay, so I want to use that deck as well. And I'd also like to bring in a degree of Aboriginal energy as well. because I'm being shown by Metatron. One of the first things that he showed me was actually, excuse me, this card from my own deck, which is the energy of indigo. And you'll see the child looking up at the indigo sky and the stars. And it's all about just wondering what is out there, basically. And that very much led me to the energy of Aboriginal, Indigenous people who study the sky and the stars, who are very close to nature. So I want to use the Dreamtime reading cards by Laura Bowen as well. Okay, so we've got quite a lot to get through. There's also some other interesting things that are just going on in my house as I am recording this. Number one, my new cat Leo absolutely wants to be sitting right here on this desk. And you might say, well, let him, Amanda, let him. But it's not as easy as that, because he's going to be leaping over everything and I can't concentrate. But he has been here reviewing the materials. He's sitting outside the door. I'll let him in later. But no, in all seriousness, there is this cat-like quality. And that also interests me because one of the other interstellar objects, the one in 2017 called something like Umama, I'm probably totally wrong pronunciation, but it's theorized that it came from the constellation Lyra, which definitely has a feline type energy to it. So yeah, we've got Leo's involvement, the Lyrian energy. I noted that one thing Leo had done is actually topple over my globe on my desk. It's just this little globe and it was lying on its side. And I feel as though what he's trying to say is this may also be linked into the axes of the earth shifting. I have done videos on pole shift. I will just reiterate that I don't believe that pole shift is just one moment in time. It happens over many years actually, but we know that the poles are shifting. There are differences happening with regards to the magnetic energy around us. So it just feels as though the fact that these objects are being pulled into our solar system from a different place in our universe, so far away, might have something to do, as I say, with the magnetic fields and the weakening or the strengthening, whatever's going on with that. That seems to be tied in as well. Anyhow, let's get to it then, and let me just give you a very brief summary of what 3i Atlas is. I've literally got a page of notes and that's it, and then we'll get to the intuitive stuff. This is what I can gather, okay, from what I have read over multiple sources. So one of the interesting things about this is, oh, by the way, 3i Atlas, the 3 is the fact it's the third one, the third object that has been detected from outside our solar systems. That's where the 3 comes in. The I stands for interstellar, and Atlas is linked into the observatory and the lookout station, for want of a better word, that our world has to look out for objects such as this, as well as much more. It was discovered on July the 1st, and the most important thing to know about comets is that most comets originate here and they orbit our sun. Now, 3i Atlas is not behaving like that, and it's not originating from our solar system. It's also on a path not bound to the sun, meaning, and I'm reading here what I've written down, it will pass through our solar system and then head back into deep space. Unlike something like Halley's Comet, for example, which comes back every 76 years doing an orbit round the sun. 3i Atlas is, at the moment, they think it's going to be closest to Earth on October the 30th. I've seen other people talk about October the 31st. I don't know if they're just doing that to give it a bit more of a gothic feel, because obviously it will be Halloween. But, you know, that time period between Halloween and also November the 4th, which is linked into All Souls Day, for example, it is always a time where the veils are very thin anyway. So whether it's October the 30th or October the 31st, that time period is very relevant because, as I say, the veils are thin, and what that means is that we're able to see beyond the dimension that we are existing in right now. We are also able to see different frequencies and different emanations of life and light. So it's very perfect that it comes closest to us around October the 30th. When I say close, the latest estimate is it's still going to be 130 million miles from Earth, which shows the vastness not just of our solar system, but other solar systems beyond ours. But that date seems to be important. I think there are dates where it's very close to Venus, Mars and Jupiter. I feel as I'm going to have to come back and do update videos to this one. And also I think there's something about December, it coming close again, before it then sort of zooms off. The speed with which this thing is travelling, it's travelling at nearly 150,000 miles per hour or 41 miles per second. And it's believed to be older in origin than our sun. Our sun itself is around 4.5 billion years old anyway. So whatever this is, whether it's Comet or something else, it is older than that. So ancient. And the point about that is the age of it and the fact that it's come from so far away is that it's likely to contain materials and particles and energy, obviously, which are from other star systems and other times. So the scientists are really excited about this, but so should anybody who has a more inquisitive nature linked into spirituality. And I do think actually that things such as this present an opportunity for science and spirituality to come together, because I very strongly suspect that they both need each other to be able to get to the bottom of conundrums such as this, which Metatron says are going to be becoming more frequent. And Metatron is also saying they're going to become more frequent because we have requested their arrival. There have been enough people looking up, as it were, to the skies and wondering why, also maybe sending out requests for help. And we have actually manifested this into being. I'm holding in the palm of my hand a star being crystal that I probably have shown you many times before. But again, it was interesting coming into my room today. Normally this crystal is upright. That's its upright position. But again, whether it was my cat or whether it was me, I realised that it was lying face down, as though the star being, I don't really like to use the word alien, although I might drop into that lingo at some point in this video, but it was looking up, and it felt as though it was saying, we are looking up at you. Because this is the other thing about the universe. For some reason, we all look up, but of course, really, the galaxy is all around us. It is beneath us, to the left of us, to the right of us, above us. We are surrounded. We're just on this little planet Earth, which is surrounded by space, basically. So it felt as though this alien life, star being life, was looking up at us. But I'm also now feeling that what it's saying is that it is the aspect of us that is galactic. It is the aspect of us that is a star being. It is the aspect of us that is alien. We all come from the stars, that has been looking up and needing reassurance and almost like a visit of something that reminds us of home. Now, the reality is most of us are not going to be seeing this with our naked eye. We might see photographs of it in the papers from, big telescopes, such as the James Webb telescope, for example, which has recently taken a new photograph of it. But whether we see it with our naked eye or not is immaterial, because if you understand consciousness and if you understand frequency, you will know that we are affected by things we cannot see, whether it be a solar flare, whether it be, so many things that are happening all the time in our universe. Energy is energy, and it affects us because we are energy beings. I'm being given almost like quite a colloquial analogy by Archangel Metatron, which is it's almost like a great aunt dropping by, or a great uncle dropping by, or an ancestor dropping by, that you don't see most of your life, but maybe they just drop in occasionally. And by ancestor, I'm talking about dropping in your dream state, or, whether it's actually somebody physically that's still in your life, they drop in to just check in on you every now and again. And there's a degree of making sure that we're okay, but there's also a degree of just leaving their energy and their imprint because it's actually something that you need at this time. So I do definitely feel that the arrival of 3i Atlas into our solar system is a gift and a blessing. It's definitely not something to fear. It's definitely not something that feels threatening. To me, it feels a gift and a blessing. But again, Metatron is saying, but only to those that are open to receiving it. So if you want to go down the doom-laden route of, oh my God, it's going to hit, and, it's not. But probably there'll be people that exploit other people's fear, or just the question mark that is out there, but let them do that. Okay, let them do that. But ultimately, this is something that's bringing in a great blessing to those that are open to it. So we need to be very aware that our crown chakra needs to be open during this period and not closed off. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, back to some of the information about it. So it's come from outside our solar system. It is travelling blinking fast. It contains materials and particles and energy from other star system. It's the third interstellar comet, or whatever it is, on record. And at this point, it might be interesting just to say, what is a comet? Let's not assume that we know what a comet is, because some of the people that are saying it's definitely an alien spacecraft or it's definitely a comet, if we actually understand what a comet is and what a comet tends to look like and how a comet tends to behave, that can give us good clues with regards to what this potentially might be, which may very well be a comet, even if it is one from a much further place than is typical for us to see. So a comet is a celestial object consisting of a nucleus of ice and dust, and when it gets near to the sun, a tail of the gas and the dust particles point away from the sun. Now, this comet, I believe the latest observations from James Webb Telescope are saying that it is starting to develop a tail-like structure, which might give a clue to the fact it probably might be a comet. It also appears to have ice on it. Water has been detected. There is, however, the highest ratio of carbon dioxide to water than has ever been seen in a comet. There is this question mark with regards to, is it emitting its own light, which would make it unusual. I have read somebody was talking about the fact, with regards to the fact this light signature that it has, it may be linked into a pattern that is seen on similar objects in the Kuiper belt, Kuiper, Kuiper belt, which is basically beyond Neptune. And then we've also got this anomaly with regards to the fact that they are detecting, as I say, nickel without iron, and also some titanium property potentially, which give a nod to the fact that it might not be metals that you typically would see here on Earth. Right, I think I've brought you pretty much up to speed with what I know. In terms of its length, I think initially they thought it was about 12 miles long. The latest estimate it is between 3.5 and 7 miles long. Okay, so let's get to the spiritual messages then, and what we think this might be all about. I've covered a couple of them. The first thing, as I say, that Metatron is saying to me is that it is meant to make us think. It's meant to make us expand, because as a humanity right now, there are some aspects of our being that are actually contracting. If we're not careful, with regards to maybe intellect, EQ as well, emotional intelligence. In some, not all. Of course, the awakening journey should be about expanding all aspects of who we are, at all levels, emotionally, intellectually, everything should be expanding. But we are living in a transitional stage at the moment where we're being offered an opportunity with regards to, for example, AI, to maybe become a little bit lazy if we're not too careful. There's nothing wrong with using AI, but if we use it at the expense of our own mental abilities, what happens is the brain starts to shrink. And I think there are studies being done that are showing that is possible. It shouldn't even be revolutionary thinking anyway, because quite frankly, when you get older, one of the things that can offset diminishing, memory loss and cognitive ability is to keep using the mind, whether it be through doing a crossroads, Sudoku, whatever. Crosswords rather, Sudoku, etc., or playing music or learning a language. So, if we don't use what we've got, then evolution teaches us that they won't go into the future with us. So I do feel as though when we don't know what something is, it is actually opening us up. The whole thing about the big question mark in the sky is actually a beautiful thing. Whereas actually what we need to be getting to is a state of inquisitiveness, open-mindedness, and be like this child that is looking up, questioning the meaning of life, the meaning of their existence, their place in the universe, why we're here, all of these ancient questions that man has had since he first arrived on this planet all those years ago, eons ago. Okay. Another thing that Archangel Metatron was saying to me this morning is to the question, and at the moment I'm just wanting to give these to you as ideas. I don't want to close down any avenue. I think if you're watching a video right now which is saying with 100% conviction, this is definitely what it is definitely an alien craft, or it is definitely a comet, what you're doing is you are limiting the ability to learn more, because that's the energy that we need to be in right now, that we actually don't know, and that we're we're in a state of inquisitiveness. So this is just another thing that Metatron is throwing out for you to think about. Does it resonate? Does it not? This is what he said this morning. He says that it's us from the future. Okay, now how can it be us? It's just a lump of rock. It's to do with energy. It's to do with frequency. It's to do with a remnant of something. So it's arriving from the future. It's us, basically. It's us. And maybe it's coming back because right now we're in this pivotal crossroads where sometimes we look out onto the world and we think, well, we're just stuck in the mud. We're just not able to make the changes that we need to be making. We keep talking about awakening and when is it going to happen? And we look round and we're just seeing entrenchment in terms of war and hatred and division. And it's like, are we getting anywhere? So would it not be inconceivable that actually it's us coming back from the future to save us? How many times have you heard me say, and other people, we are the ones that save ourselves, So this thing about It's us coming back from the future. Just want to think about that in terms of, it's obviously not you in a spaceship, in a space outfit coming back and landing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about, this is the analogy Metatron will give you. It's to do with fragments of us, that we are in everything. So if Earth were to end tomorrow in a great big bang, I'm not saying it's going to, but if it was, there would be fragments of Earth that would then be travelling for eons through space and time. And on another planet, many years into the future, there would be a part of Earth that sails on by. And that part of Earth would contain us, would it not? Because we were on it at that time. We imprinted our energy and our frequency into it. So that's what I mean by it's us coming back. And remember, you know, time travel is both backward and forward. But I was led to feel that Metatron was saying it's us from the future. And again, it felt like it was help. Not in terms of here's the help, here's a book, here's a manual how to do it, or we're all going to get off this comet or spaceship and come and help you. No, it's more to do with frequency. It's a frequency that's coming back to help us. And I have to say, one of the qualities that I've really been digging into over the last few days, whether this is linked or not, I don't know, but I think it would be, it sort of fits, is the energy of courage. Courage. That maybe we need the courage that our future selves have, because they know we survived whatever this is, whatever is coming, however difficult this transition and this birth into the new earth is. We know we survived it because we're still existing in a future timeline, in a different place, and we're just popping on by. We're just travelling on through to say, hi, it's fine, you can do it, and here's a little bit of sprinkling of the dust that you need. And interesting, I say the word dust, because there is a, for want of a better word, dust cloud that surrounds phenomenon such as this, you know, these comets. So that was another thing just to consider. Hi everyone. Well, you can see we've had a change of tempo here. I've just had my lunch, a lovely cup of tea, and we are now going to get into some cards for further insights. I'm going to use various decks, some Shamanic, some Galactic, and I'm also going to start with this card, which comes from the Wild Archetypes deck. Now, I pulled this off camera, I have to be honest. I then realised my tea was going cold, so I'm sorry, I stopped the camera and I'm redoing it, but I had to show you what this card was because it was fascinating. So for the present moment, okay, just for the present moment, the card that we get is lead. Now, there's a few things to say about lead. Number one, lead is about turning something base into something more noble. Lead into gold. It's linked into the energy of alchemy. So right now, in the present moment, we are in a leaden state. There are many people that are asleep to the fact that this comet, if it is a comet, I'm just going to say comet for the sake of not having to keep explaining it could be this, it could be that, but say it's a comet, very few people are even aware that this is unusual, that this is happening. The energy of being asleep, unawakened, but also unaware of the magic that this could potentially bring to our world and to ourselves. If you read the message that goes with this particular card, it also links into the energy of Saturn. And Saturn, as we know, is the teacher energy. So there is something for us to learn from this whole experience. Even if, a bit like the energy of the pyramids, we eventually get to a position where we don't actually know what the answer is. Because that is actually a humbling of the ego that always likes to know, likes to have everything crossed off. I mean, Saturn can be a bit like that as well. But there's an energy here of be prepared to learn. Be prepared to be surprised. Saturn likes structure and order, that comets should behave like this, that comets should have, these particular characteristics. The fact that this one is behaving and looking in a different way has got something to teach us. So I find that really, really interesting that we've got lead linked into the present energy. Also, of course, on this card, we've got an energy of duality, of light and dark. I suppose out there, some people might be, worst case scenario, they probably watched too many Hollywood films. Is this about to impact the planet in a negative way? Is it an alien starship that is coming to do harm to us, for example? Or are we in the dark because actually, for example, NASA and the government know what this is, but they're not telling us? But over here on the other side, it feels a lot freer. This is just the energy of, it feels a lot lighter. This is the energy of discovery, adventure. And ultimately, I think I said at the start that at the moment, scientists think that this might be derived from, where did I talked about it being linked into some area outside of Neptune. And if that is the case, of course, Neptune by nature is one which is can be veiled, is about discovery. It's unclear. It's linked into the subconscious. It's about delving into the depths and finding the mysteries. It's about mystery, basically. So what at the moment is appearing maybe for some quite mundane, why are you even talking about this? You're missing the gold, you're missing the alchemy in all of this. Okay. Right, let's go back a few steps now, and I want to go to this card, which is the card of the past. And actually, I'm going to pull from the same deck, I think. Let's just see what we get for a past energy linked into Atlas 3i. So the past energy, please, linked into Atlas 3i. Before I pull a card, I'm tuning into the energy of Commander Ashtar, and I'm getting the energy of Atlas 3i feeling tired. And that might sound a weird thing to say, but bear with me. Think about it this way. If you have been traveling for billions of years across the universe, across the great galaxy, to a destination that you haven't yet arrived at, and maybe you don't actually have a true home for, would you not feel a degree of tiredness? So something here with regards to the actual energy of it, feeling displaced, misplaced, homeless, lost, on an eternal journey without necessarily an end destination. Now, I guess ultimately there will be an end destination, but right now, just tuning into the energy of it, I'm just being taken back to the start of the journey, the past, and the energy of whatever created it, the expulsion moment, the moment of creation, great force, great energy. And even though it's traveling at this extraordinary speed and it's got all of these properties and metals and light and, just energy, actually, I'm getting this energy of, it's almost like existential tiredness. So in many ways, is that mirroring something that we're feeling also as souls on what can feel like an eternal journey, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime? Are we getting there yet? Have we learnt anything yet? When do we reach wherever we reach? It's mirroring something within us there. But it's also showing the potential that we have, the great potential that we have with regards to the sheer life force energy and dynamic energy that it holds within it to be able to go anywhere. But it's feeling a bit lost, a bit adrift. Anyway, let's see what the card is for past. We've got the energy of Mars. And I'm going to stand by what I've just said, because you might look at that card and think, well, hold on a minute, you've just been saying it feels tired, and now we've got Mars, which is full of energy and like warlike energy, and masculine energy. Is it almost like a remnant? As well as being from the future, is it also a remnant of past energy linked into Mars at its worst? Mars is a planet of war. Mars is a planet of patriarchal control. Mars is a planet of dominance. I'm being tired with that. Let's see what it says for this card, Mars. Card number 5. It says, with Mars by our side, we can assert ourselves in the world. Our presence is felt and our voice is heard like a flame. Mars rises upward and helps us stand strong for what we believe in. Social justice, movements are great examples of Mars energy in action. With clarity of purpose, Mars leads us to peaceful change, the upholding of human rights and representing the unrepresented. As alchemists, we must be very precise with our dosage of Mars. As in uncontrolled amounts, it leads to outbursts with violence. Mars is most potent when paired with non-violence. Yeah, so I'm right in what I was just picking up on then. This is actually coming in as a powerful force for good in our world, for the peaceful warrior, that we can create change in a different way. That we don't have to just create change via havoc, war, separation, hatred, aggression, etc. Everything that's kept us trapped. That we can actually alchemize that. We can turn what feels unavoidable and non-negotiable, and it has to be this way, it's our only way of resolving things, into something more golden. How interesting. Okay, I'm going to pull another card from another deck for the past position, because it just feels obviously important to learn as much as we can about its past energy. Let's pull a tarot card, and these tarot cards are from the First Light Tarot. Okay, so the past energy, please. Anything to say about the past energy belonging to Atlas 3I? We've got the energy of the Empress, development, growth, abundance, and productivity. More than anything, here we've got feminine energy. You know, the creation of this planet ultimately was feminine. The feminine energy is that which gives birth, and it was always thus. So this started out with a feminine energy. I'm still picking up that tiredness. I still feel as though this is highlighting a past wound that the feminine is carrying and has carried for eons. And I want to say has also carried it through other planetary civilizations. There always seems to have been this battle between the feminine and the masculine. And yeah, thinking about it, Atlas 3I sails close to both Mars and Venus. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, with Jupiter in the mix as well, just highlighting all of that. So there's something I'm hearing stunted feminine development in a past position. Again, this card is absolutely central to the whole reading, I'm realising now. That we can turn something leaden to gold. Stunted feminine development. Stunted feminine growth. The divine feminine suppressed. And it stems from the past. It stems from what's happened in the past. But it can be alchemized. Okay, let's keep going on. Let's now pull a galactic card. And I also want to pull a shamanic card. So let's pull a card from a Rebecca Campbell deck with regards to the past position of Atlas 3i, the past position of Atlas 3i. Your life is a canvas. Yeah, it's the same energy, creation energy. So your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. We've got two cards in the past position, both of which are about the energy of creation. So this Atlas 3i goes right back to the first spark of creation. It's been with us that long. It is a part of us. It's a part of us. In a weird way, it feels like a aspect of the Akashic Library as well, that is just rolling on by for us to take a look at everything that we've been, everything that we are, and everything that we could be. Let's keep that Mars card on top of the past. Okay. I'm not going to pull in another card on the present because it doesn't feel like it needs it. Why is this happening? Why is it arriving now? Let's start with the tarot. Why is it happening now? Why is it arriving now? Because it's got a message for us. We've got the card of an open mind. Keep an open mind. And it's really interesting that this particular card shows a pathway. And one of the things we know about it is that it has an unusual pathway. It's not behaving in the ways that comets usually do because it's not of this solar system. So the pathway is unusual. This also reminds me a bit of a timeline, which has got a slight twist in it here. There's a twist in the tail that the timeline that we're on, maybe there needs to be a deviation from where we are now. There's a kink in the road basically there. So is it also going to help us to change course in some way, shape or form? But it's absolutely got a message. It's coming right now because it has a message. And it's been on a really, really long journey is what I'm hearing. I mean, we know that anyway, but I'm just getting the sense of a message carrier, you know? It's like the oldest pigeon carrier. It's just been flying forever through space, through time to arrive right now. Okay, what ultimately is the message that it has for us? I'm going to go to the Christ Consciousness deck. What ultimately is the message that Atlas 3i has for us and that we need to hear right now? What is the message? Okay, it's bringing in, got also the lion on the bottom of the deck. It's bringing in the energy of Gethsemane and the darkest hour. Strength arrives. I'm just wanting to say it knows that humanity right now, the earth, is in a difficult place. The cup is within reach. If we know the story of Gethsemane and Jesus, he basically says to God, the Father figure, take this cup away from me. You know, he didn't at that moment feel that he could go through with what was to take place, which ultimately, of course, leads to rebirth, transformation. And if we take it into this age, it's the arrival of the golden age. Beside the tree, we have the sword that is just lying idly by. And bottom of the pack, we've got the lion heart, which is stand firm. I did say to you earlier that one of the qualities I was feeling was the energy of courage being needed. So this is coming in with a message, which is that help arrives, basically. Help arrives, but it's through us digging into our own strength. It's an acknowledgement from the universe that Earth was always going to arrive at this place around about now, which was going to be very, very difficult. It's the moment of Gethsemane. It's the darkest hour. Strength arrives. So 2 cards about strength. The Lion, and this also says strength. It's bringing in a message of strength. It's reminding us of our own strength. Okay. What obstacles are there, please, with regards to it? What obstacles are there? I'm going to go back to this deck, the First Light Tarot. No, sorry, what is this one? Whatever it is. Wild Unknown Archetypes. So what obstacles are there presently, please? Coagulation. Before I read what that card is about, to me, what I was feeling as I was shuffling the cards is the obstacle is a stuck mindset. This is what we know. This is how things are. This is what science understands. Coagulation reminds me of a clot. It's a blockage. Just want to have one other card that goes with that blockage. Coagulation. What goes with coagulation, please? Wake up call. Oh, okay. We're stuck as a species. I'm sure I'm not the only light worker out there that has had moments recently of just like, are we going to make it type energy, feeling very frustrated with our progress, with the hold that the ego has on us all, that I'm right, that you're wrong, that, the endless arguing and just the endless ego fights. It's causing huge blockage in the system. This clot is within the earth. We've congested not just ourselves, but the whole earth. And I'd go further than that now and say I'm being told we're congesting the universe, because the universe is a fluid, energetic system. Where there is a blockage somewhere, it leads to blockages somewhere else. I'm being shown the energy of a blocked toilet, actually. It's as though we're not flushing out our waste. And what I mean by that is we are not dealing with our karma. We are not healing our shadow. We are not stepping into the energy of forgiveness. We are not stepping into our heart enough as a species. We're stuck. We're coagulated. We're leaden. We're leaden. It's heavy. It's 10 of Swords type energy. And this is Metatron saying big wake-up call. Big wake-up call coming. And this Atlas 3i is part of that, or it's just a sign that this is where we're at. What about positive surroundings? Positive surroundings. So thinking about Atlas 3i, positive surroundings. I don't really even know what the question is here, so I'm going to interpret the card when I see it. I'm just going to say Atlas 3i, positive surroundings. What is there to say, please, Spirit? The sun. Oh, I love that. Do you know why? If you understand, if you've listened to what I've said so far, the reason why Atlas 3i is unusual is that it's a comet that has come from outside our solar system. All other comets are within it, which mean that they are linked into the energy of the sun. It wants to be near the sun. It's like that is the positive surrounding for it. Look at that energy of that hand as well, it's like it's soaking up the energy of the sun. It's sunbathing. It truly, it's getting something. It might be doing something for us, but it is getting something from this experience as well. It is, it's enjoying the positive surroundings that the sun gives it. Let's just carry on. Something else I'm not getting here. Heart energy. Positive surroundings. The sun as the heart. The sun as the cathedral. This card shows the sun, sorry, the green cathedral. Not sure other than what I've already said there. I'm being shown in my mind's eye ancient cultures. Okay, we need an Aboriginal card. Ancient cultures that worshipped the sun. So when I said earlier that this comet is us, and I felt it was our future selves, this comet is also our past selves. I keep being shown sitting around a campfire type energy, which I know sometimes still people do, but this feels prehistoric. This feels like Stone Age man sitting around a campfire trying to understand life maybe, or just surviving. The energy of fire. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Okay, spot on. I'll take that card as well, because we've also got the energy of butterfly. But the card that came out as I was talking about sitting around a campfire is the card of campfire. Storytelling. What's that beautiful quote by Alan Rickman about storytelling? Let me just get it for you, because I'm feeling that is important. Storytelling quote. Okay, this is it. We think about where we are in the world at the moment and the level of mistrust in governments and everything else, as well as each other. This is Alan Rickman, and it's a human need to be told stories. The more that we're governed by idiots and have no control over our destinies, the more we need to tell stories to each other about who we are, why we are, where we came from, and what might be possible. It's an ancient need to be told stories, but the story needs a great storyteller. So I love that. Yeah, there's something here to do with, this is also an opportunity for tribe to literally get around a campfire, if not actually physically, to gather like we are now talking about this. And to just spend a moment out of our crazy days where we could be doing other stuff and all the jobs that have to be done, blah, 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 to just sit and think about the meaning of life and things far, far away in distant galaxies that you and I are part of, and to maybe share stories of that. But yeah, we've also got the card of butterfly, which to me is just the energy of transformation here. It's also a nod to beauty, of course. But anyway, that card of campfire is absolutely perfect there. Right, let's have a card now with regards to who may be challenged or hurt, is what the card says. Who may be challenged or hurt with regards to Atlas 3 Eyes presence. And I'm just wondering what card to use for this. Metatron deck is shouting at me. Okay. Oh, right, that one. Huh. That's an interesting one to flip up there. Who might be hurt? Mystery and mastery of life. That's the card I showed you at the beginning. The small child that is questioning. I'm going to interpret this card in a different way now. I'm feeling here, as I look at this card a little bit more, that this child right now, in relation to the question, who may be hurt, looks a little bit lonely, looks a little bit vulnerable, is vulnerable. This is almost the energy of the praying mantis. Those that will take advantage of other people's fears. There's a lot of that in the spiritual community. I like to think it's just misguided information, immature information that's out there, which serves its purpose in a world of duality. I guess you have to have bad teachers to discover what a good teacher is. You have to learn lessons of having been lied to, betrayed to, told something is this when it's actually the opposite, to learn discernment. This little girl sitting here feels as though she's desperately seeking answers. And the question is, how are the answers going to arrive? Are they going to be packaged up as something that they're not? Okay, what Metatron's saying to me now is saying to me 2012. And what he means by that is this is the hype and the spin that was around in 2012, those of you that remember it, with regards to, oh my God, this is the coming of, the new age, this is the new earth is going to arrive. I know I'm unpopular in the spiritual community for saying this, but I personally, the whole rainbow wave mob, to me, I just don't see that it's going to happen like that. And I think what it's doing, why I get frustrated by it, is it's leaving people feeling very frustrated because it's just giving all these dates when something is supposedly going to happen with the wave of a wand or the wave of light that just descends. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't feel it's going to happen like that. And I just think it's leading to disillusionment, disappointment. People are thinking, well, you said this was going to happen. It hasn't happened. Now what? And then there'll always be an excuse. There'll always be a reason why it didn't happen. There will always be a reason why the goalposts have shifted. It's emotional manipulation, it's spiritual manipulation, it's wolves in sheep's clothing. As I say, they might not realise they're doing it, but the end goal is that they are. And I can't help but this card is really, I'm really seeing this card as I'm talking to you, because that almost looks devil-like. Can you see? That almost looks like devil horns there. Or it's morphing as I'm looking at it, because we've got the two eyes here and that look like devil horns. But the more I'm looking at it now, I'm also seeing positive things. I'm seeing a panther, a black panther's face, which reminds me about the energy of protection from anything that is darker. And I'm also feeling that this shape here now is looking a little bit like a Cancerian crab, which is to do with, protect. Again, it's an energy of protection. Go within, use your shell, and be secure in your home. And your home is your body. Be secure in your body so that you don't fall for every single thing that's said out there. I haven't actually watched any videos on Atlas 3I other than scientific ones, I have to be honest, because I haven't wanted to. So thank you if you've tuned into me, because maybe you have, or maybe you haven't. But anyway, thank you for tuning into me. I appreciate it. But hopefully I am doing this video in a style which is just giving you ideas. I'm not coming at you saying it's definitely this, it's definitely a spaceship, it's definitely a comet. I'm saying right now, there's supposed to be magic, there's supposed to be alchemy. We're supposed to not know. We're supposed to go on a journey with all of this. Ultimately, I know that it's a force for good because I'm choosing for it to be, because you have a choice with regards to anything in your life to either bring negativity in or positivity in. But the people out there that are just shouting, if they are, I imagine they are, that this is definitely a spaceship, this is definitely this is what's going to happen, they don't know. And what they're doing is they're actually denying this child, which is you, the opportunity to grow and evolve in your own way with regards to what this wants to bring. Okay. So that's what I feel there with regards to who may it hurt. Let's pull a tarot card on that. Final one. Who may be hurt? I'm seeing the Lover's card in my mindset, which is the card of choice, but we'll see what we get. We've got harmony. Okay, so Who may it hurt? Card number 10, harmony. The energy is joy. Takes the joy out of this child's imagination. Takes the joy out of... I mean, the ego is a great joy sapper a lot of the time. You know, a child comes up with all of these perspectives and views of the universe, which take them on a journey somewhere, which who's to say are not real. A child's imagination is a beautiful thing. Your inner child has an imagination. How often have you allowed her or him to have free rein to go and explore and think and reflect and dream? This is like the joy sappers, the joy sappers. There's also another message here, though, coming through with regard to harmony. Who may it hurt? By nature, something that's coming in from outside is going to cause a degree of disruption. Can't not do, because there's a degree of wake-up call energy here. So a bit like a big solar flare or something like that, or an earthquake, or, you know, that can interfere with the equilibrium and balance and harmony in our world, but also within our own physicality. So I think we probably need to do a separate video with regards to looking after the physical body. I've been meaning to do this for a while anyway, with regards to, now we've got Atlas 3I as well as solar flares and all the other stuff that's kicking off. But you know, the Schumann resonance that is being affected, maybe the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of Mother Earth, will be affected by the comet's arrival. I'm being given by Metatron the analogy of, it's a really beautiful analogy, of, you know, the beautiful feeling when you fall in love and your heart's all aflutter when you think of them or you see them. It's like a rising passion type energy. That's what I'm feeling, that, you know, this comet coming in because it wants to be close to our sun, which is the source of our life here on Earth. I don't know, there's just a fluttering of Mother Earth's heartbeat, actually, with the arrival of this comet, because I'm talking all the time about the fact that this comet or spaceship, whatever it is bringing us something, but it's also bringing something to Gaia. It's bringing something to Gaia. It's reminding Gaia that she's not alone. That Gaia has got used, obviously, to the other partners in the solar system. She's used to the sun, she's used to the moon, she's used to Neptune, she's used to Mars, she's used to Jupiter, etc. But now there's something new. It's a bit like I'm being shown the analogy of a table, and you just know what is on the table all the time. The foods are all the same, and all of a sudden you have a newcomer to the table, and it's interesting, it's exciting. It makes you perk up and think, oh, you know, wonder what's going to happen here. That's the energy that I'm getting. So again, it's dualistic. We can either go down into the energy of, oh, you know, another solar flare, I better hide away in bed for the next 10 days, you know, the Schumann resonance is this, I can't do anything today, now we've got a comet, I have to go and hibernate. No, just we've got to learn how to flow and move through these big changes that are happening in our world, and to the harmony, and find the harmony within. Right, let's go to this card now. Who may it help? Who may it help? Let's pull a tarot to start. So who may be helped by this? Okay, I'll give you the first thing that I've heard, which is government, funnily enough. We've got a thought. Interesting, we've got the devil, though, on the bottom of the deck. We've also got the energy of power. So I'm going to take those two. It's not the card of the Hierophant, which would be the card of governance, but I did hear who may it help. Thought, devil, power. Is it... going back to this card with Mars, you know, turning away from aggressiveness more towards the peaceful warrior, is it helping to change our thought patterns with regards to who we elect into power, who represents us, what power actually looks like on our planet? again, we can be very trapped in our thinking that power is always going to be toxic. It's always going to be linked into devil energy. This card it says loss of freedom, fear, ruthlessness. I know some of the agendas that are out there don't look good for our world, the timelines that potentially could play out. But we are giving power to those agendas and timelines by feeding them, basically. So something here with regards to it, again, it's freeing up our thoughts so that we step more into our own power, our own sovereignty, to change the power structures in our world is what I'm thinking. Okay. So with regards to between now, I'm making this in September, and end of October, when it's supposed to be closest to us. Let's go for another shamanic card. So between now and end of October. Atlas 3i. Between now and the end of October. Walk about bare feet. Before I read what this is about, which I will do, let me just get the book. I just want to see what I can find by that. What I can feel from that, rather. It's giving me a footsteps in the sand type energy. It was then that I carried you. But this also just feels like this is the comet's path. This is the comet's path around the sun, around the Earth. It's around the solar system, our solar system. It's actually doing what my cat does when she's in my room, which is most of the time. She comes onto my desk, which is literally covered in bottles, crystals, cards, you name it. I got so much stuff. And she is, I keep saying she, it's because he's really pretty. He's a really pretty boy, Leo. Poor thing. He's a boy. He's a very handsome boy. He very daintily walks around everything. He doesn't knock anything over. He's just able to very gracefully, a bit like a dancer. It's like a dancer type energy. So this comet is just able to, I don't know, it's going to cause, potential eruptions and, needing to balance our energies out. And it's there for a purpose. It knows it's difficult, but I don't know, it's doing it as gently as possible. Anyway, let's see what this card says. Card number 35. Oh, it's getting hot in this room again now. In some parts of Australia, the term walkabout refers to a rite of passage undertaken by a young male. But for me, growing up, the term was used by my elders to describe the connection to the land. Okay, before I move on to that, I just want to not ignore that first line. So, a rite of passage undertaken by a young male. It's a bit personal to say this really about poor Leo, but I am going to say it because everything is linked in my work. He's just gone to the vet, okay? So he's 9 months old. He arrived in our house a couple of weeks ago. He's just been booked in to be done, to be neutered, because he hadn't been done. And I've just described him, as sort of, is he a girl, is he a boy? Well, he's a boy, but he's about to be done. He's about to be, So something about this, because this initiation from young male to hopefully a more, they say when cats have been neutered that they're more settled. I guess it's a rite of passage for him, my friends. I don't know, there's something in that. Help me out, cat lovers. I think there's something in that message. But anyway, this other thing about walkabout, bare feet. It was the term they used to explain the meditation-like walks that they regularly took through the country. These walks were usually done on bare feet and were very meaningful and were considered an important part of caring for the land they lived on. When we allow ourselves to feel the energy that vibrates up through the earth, we allow ourselves to connect to the ancient energy of this great land. I consider this to be in some ways part of our responsibility. If you do not walk the country that you live on and allow it the opportunity to speak or the chance for your environment to communicate what it needs, then how do you know what it is that is needed from you? That is fascinating, because if this comet is visiting Earth, is it also coming to find out what we need? It knows we're at Gethsemane, the darkest hour. It's coming to find out what we need. It's coming to find out what we need. But also, because it is part of us and we are part of it, part of its responsibility and duty is to occasionally come on by. I'm sure Atlas 3I has probably come by before. It's just that telescopes have never seen it in our lifetime, because it wouldn't have been in our lifetime anyway. So, yeah, I think that's the meaning of that. Near future. I want to pull another card. Let's pull one of these, I think. No, let's pull one of these. Might get a metal. The near future. So between now and end of October, what's coming in? Atlas 3I. So we've got lead in the present moment. Let's shunt it forward a couple of months. Where do we get to? Quicksilver. Quicksilver. Well, so what was solid and very Saturnian and rigid and full of structure, we suddenly get to this thing which is much more fluid. Quicksilver. See what it says for Quicksilver. XX1V. XX1V. Okay. Sorry, it's not very easy for me to find it. Here we go. Part liquid and part metal. Quicksilver, also known as mercury, so we've gone from Saturn to Mercury, is a mesmerizing material. Its gift is to slip between worlds. It cannot be pinned down or easily defined. Mercury came to symbolize the god Hermes and the great hermetic secrets of alchemy, always sliding away into secrecy just beyond the alchemist's grasp. It is said Mercury represents the transition between the physical and the unseen worlds, between life and death, between science and the esoteric. It's the metal of sacred thresholds. Shamanic practitioners of every tradition must acquire the ability to stand at the doorway between worlds. This is no small feat. The Mercury card indicates the querent has a particular gift for such a task. This is the work of the shaman, the teacher, the sage, the artist, and the alchemist. Heed the call of Quicksilver. The sacred threshold requires your attendance. So it's threshold. It's representing threshold. It's moving us. It's moving us from this rigid place to something more fluid, like the river. Well, I'm really wanting to see what the end future card is now, and then we'll get to the wild card. Okay. Don't want to make this video too much longer. I think I'm going to have to come back to this subject. Okay, so let's go beyond October. Let's go to... I sort of want to go beyond December as well. Just going to say further out into the future, the impact of Atlas 3I. Spring. Okay, it's taking us to the energy of spring. That's a beautiful card, isn't it? Ooh, I like that. I'll tell you why I like that. That reminds me of the Tree of Life. But the Tree of Life has been lit up in white light. That is magical. That feels very like Narnia to me. It's the energy of Narnia. It's purity, it's magic, it's innocence, it's clarity. It's a blank sheet. It's a fresh start. It's a new spring. That is beautiful. Wow. I also love the fact that that tree is pretty much undefined. Is it an apple tree? Is it a pear tree? Is it a cherry tree? Is it an oak? Is it this? Is it that? You don't know. It's although the shape is there, the template is there, it is still to reveal what it can be. This feels almost like the future tree of life for our planet. I know that's a big sweeping statement, my friends, but that is what I'm getting. It's almost as though, let me just get the Tree of Life card from the Metatron deck to show you. We are so damn used to going up and down this Tree of Life. We come in from Spirit to Kether, and we go down the Tree of Life. We might get stuck on one particular Ceratoph, or we might visit many of them. And of course, all of the different Ceratoph have got different qualities, different lessons, different gifts, different blessings. There are all these different pathways that we can go down. But ultimately, it's a journey from Spirit down to Earth at Malkuth. And then ultimately, we go back up the tree to Spirit when we pass over. And then we come back and we do it all again. Some, not everybody, but there is a portion of us that have been all over this tree. We've been all over this tree, not just in this lifetime, in many lifetimes. It's almost as though that template is done. There's a new template wanting to come in. And at the moment, the Ceratoph upon it are just these sort of faceless jewels. They are undefined. There are 5 of them representing 5th dimensional consciousness. And it's for us to create what they are, what the new journey should be. Whereas on this one, we know that different places on the tree are linked into different things. We know if we land here, it's going to be different from here. We know if we land there, wow, that's a journey into itself. And here, this is completely undiscovered. This is the energy of snow as well. Pristine snow. Beautiful. Right. I don't even want to read what the interpretation of that card is because that's what's come through to me. Should we go to the wild card? The wild card. The wild card by nature does not have a question. It is just the wild card. And I'm going to pull a couple of cards for the wild card from different decks. I'm hearing the wild card is linked. So I've got this one. I don't know what it is. The wild card is partly wild because great universe, great spirit doesn't know how we are going to respond to opportunities that are presented to us, challenges that come our way. Even if we are given the opportunity to turn lead into gold, we're given the opportunity. It doesn't mean we're going to take it. So we are the wild card in many ways. But let's see what this card says. That is interesting, is it not? Look at that. It's another card. It's another tree. The wild card is winter. The future we get to, we get there, okay? So this is everything I've already said. That's guaranteed. We get there somehow. But the wild card, winter. Well, yeah, the tree is barren. I get that. But I'm very drawn to this star in the sky, which leads me to Christmas time. There's something coming in around Christmas time. A wild card energy. I'm just going to go to Ashtar. Commander Ashtar, Galactic Federation. This beautiful blue Andara is almost like a perfect match to this wild card. This is celestial blue. Let's go to Ashtar. What is this tree trying to tell us? The wild card. I'm being taken to the energy of frost. I mean, this is the depths of winter. This is barrenness. The only thing that is in this here is really the light that is giving the hope. And look, can you see what I've done? I didn't realise I've done it, but I've put it on top of the Gethsemane card. The darkest hour. I'm not sure what it is because I don't think I'm meant to see what it is. But without creating fear in anybody, it feels like this could be something potentially quite dark in our world where we're really having to hang on to the light. And it happens around winter time. Let me just pull a couple of cards on its energy. I'm just wondering where to go, which deck to use. Let's pull another one from here. Clarification on this winter card. Ooh, yeah, look at that. The Scythe. The Grim Reaper. This might be linked into disease, illness. It's the energy of death. It's the Grand Reaper energy. It could be war. It could be a false, I don't think I'm able to use the word on YouTube, a false situation that looks real, let's put it that way, with regards to nuclear threat. Doesn't mean it happens, because remember, we get here, we're going to be all right. But put it this way, we know that for the old patriarchal, controlling, domineering, war-hungry, bloodthirsty energy to leave this planet, do you think it's not going to leave without a fight? Of course not. So what can it do? It has up its sleeve its biggest ace, which is the threat of this. It's the threat of this. Doesn't mean it happens. Just doesn't mean it happens. Put it this way, if this Atlas 3i is a portent for us to step into our courage, help us to change our thoughts around power and control, bring in gifts from other galaxies, bring in remembrances of the past and the future, seed the new, the dark doesn't go down without a fight. It's as simple as that. This is their wild card that they have up their sleeve. What does the Christ consciousness energy say to that? Jesus and Mary Magdalene shared mission. But what's interesting is that on the bottom of the deck, we've got the cross upside down. But this, to me, is a positive sign, because this is the card of moving away from pain. It's actually letting go of the cross. It's letting go of the burdens. It's letting go of the difficulty. The cross that we all carry. We all carry the cross. On this card, we've got poppies linked into the red of war and poppies linked into the poppies of white, poppies of peace. The fact that it came upside down, to me, is saying that there is an energy at play that doesn't want us to move towards that, of course. It doesn't want us to move beyond our suffering. It doesn't want us to move towards peace and away from war. But with the shared energy of a shared mission, we can do it. Here, we've got Canadian geese. And the thing about Canadian geese is they take their turns in leading. Jesus couldn't have done his ministry without Mary. And the other disciples. Nobody acts alone. So there's also something here about Earth and its pathway towards a more peaceful planet. It requires the help of other galaxies. It requires the help of other galaxies coming in to help us. At this point, just to go down the galactic route a little bit more, let me just see anything I can pick up from Ashtar with regards to this. Let me bring in this baby. This is a Lemurian skull. Record keeper energy. More than anything, it just wants to transmit its light to you that are watching. Crystalline light. And I can see a shape that is forming in its skull here. See that energy there? It's looking a little bit like, well, you tell me what you think, but I'm picking up an energy of, it's like a woman wearing a, like a sari here. Reminds me a little bit of the energy of an Eastern goddess, such as Kuan Yin. Or Mary Magdalene, I'm seeing now. Can see the eyes. Can you see the eyes there? This is the dress. And again, it's looking upward. If we just move the position of it, see what else you can see. We can obviously see the rainbow light. But it's this energy of not being alone. So much potential. See what else we can see. Just move it around to this position. Move it around here. Okay, and it's more about the way I'm moving it than anything. I'm moving it to the right, then I'm moving it very gently to the left. If we could just turn our gaze to look at the person over here, turn our gaze to look at the person here, understand the wisdom that both can bring. The energy of unity. Okay, so I think all that remains to be done is I'm just going to ask about the energy of extraterrestrial craft. And I just feel as I need to move these cards so that we have a blank space where we can ask. Because what I'm hearing is it almost doesn't matter what you believe this to be. Atlas 3i. It doesn't matter what you believe it to be. The scientists are going to have their say, and there's going to be other people that disagree. It matters what it represents and what it can bring and what it can do. But let's just for now have a little connection to the galactic energy And any extraterrestrial, well, it obviously has got extraterrestrial energy. It's from galaxies beyond our understanding, most of us, outside of our solar system. Let's just see what I can pick up. Calling in the energy of Ashtar. He's showing me a very flat surface. I don't know whether this represents what it is or it's an aspect of where it came from. It's like a disc, very, very flat, thin, wide disc. And I can't quite make out whether it is a cloud or whether it is a craft. It feels as though, whatever it looks like, there is a degree of camouflage or cloaking linked into it. So it might appear as something, but actually it's something else. The intention of it. It has a job, it has a role, it has a responsibility. It has a mission. There are people here on the planet right now who link directly to it, who are actually waiting for it, who know exactly what this is. They know exactly what this is. It's many things. I'm being told it's many things. It's not one thing. I know that sounds weird. But again, I want you to go back to what I said at the beginning of this reading. Please just imagine a big question mark in the sky. And if you can keep your mind as open as possible to the fact it could be many different things. But I'm now being told it is many different things. It isn't one thing. Okay, this is a weird thing to say, but I'm being told that it takes different form dependent upon the place in the universe it's travelling through. That in one part of the universe it can be this, in another part of the universe it can be that. I am hearing the word weaponry, but I'm not feeling it as threatening. It might be linked into, going back to what I talked about at the start with regards to us calling it in. I'm being shown some of the weaponry that the existing powers in our world have, whether it's the Americans, the Chinese, whoever, which are sophisticated beyond our imagination. And it's not the stealth bomber, but I mean, that's the only one that I know the name of. Whatever that thing was that Trump flew over when Putin was in Alaska, that type of image, you know, that sort of very thin craft. But what they're saying, Ashtar is saying, is that technology is intergalactic. And I know many of you know this, but it's just confirmation that much of the increase in technology in our world comes from alien craft and also aliens amongst us that seed and bring in the information. So there's a degree maybe of technological information revolution that this brings in as well. Dropping in downloads to those minds that are able to compute it. It's a bit like computer code that comes in that most minds wouldn't even know what it was and wouldn't even recognise the download. But to those that are on the ground that know what this is and know what it can bring, there's like a download that comes. I'm being shown like a food drop, you know, when you see people starving in parts of the world and they drop food from planes. Well, this isn't food being dropped, it's codes, it's light codes that are coming in. Linked into technology, yeah. But what's interesting is it's peaceful technology. I am feeling an energy of Tesla here, more because somebody like Tesla would understand what this was and how it works. But also I do know that Tesla was working on technology that can end all wars. So something here with regards to downloads coming into safe hands, safe minds to bring it into being. And it's very protected and it arrives to the right people at the right time. It's like an airdrop. So back to that Gethsemane card, wherever this has come from knows that we're in trouble and knows that we are, we have the technology to basically blow ourselves up on this planet. Now, it's not going to be allowed, but the more frequency linked into peaceful technology that can come in, again, that prevents, it's a prevention. Yeah. Whatever this, I'm just wanting to say whatever this is, Atlas 3I is also passing over technological bases on our planet, being taken to Alaska, for example, and other parts of America, Russia, China, India, and into the ocean, the Indian Ocean, I'm hearing, South Africa now. I mean, it's all over the globe, to be perfectly honest, but seen and unseen bases. Garcia, whatever it's called, the one in the ocean, I'm seeing that as well, the American base. Also Mauritius, the Chagos Islands, is it? Wherever, all the fighting over land and bases, military bases. But is there anything threatening by this for us? No, it doesn't feel like it. I'm hearing Ashtar say it's like a fly past also. So another aspect of this is like a fly past. So in the UK, we have like the red arrows. I'm sure that different countries have equivalents, where the old planes go by and they do a fly past with the red, white and blue smoke. And more than anything, it's just it's like, it's a salute. It's a salute. It's a nod. It's like a salute. Am I still recording? Hopefully I am. I think it might have to switch itself off. Hold on. Hold on, guys. What is going on? Now I'm still recording. That's good. I knocked the microphone. Everything went off. It's a salute. It's a fly past. So something here also to do with it's a fly past. It's a salute. Interesting, I knocked the mic. I said the mic went off. Is this something to do with it has the ability to switch off, like solar flares can, affects technological interference. But it's as though after the interference, that whatever the technology is reset, and the reset is an upgrade. That's as far as I'm going in this video, just because I'm getting tired and I know there's so much more to cover. So I think I'm going to come back to this video and this subject in another video. I think I've gone on for over an hour, an hour and a half maybe, so that's enough for one video. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like. Gets the video out beyond the barrier reef of YouTube land, which is just people that already watch me, and I'm very grateful to those of you that do. But it's always nice to get new people coming onto the channel who might find it interesting, and also meet you as a community who are lovely people. So thanks very much. Take great care. I'm now going to go off and have a walk by the sea and just mull over everything that's come through in this video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now. Bye.